5, we like to start on time. We have 4 of us that are going to welcome you here today. Now, I'm very conscious for any male speakers that we have a transparent lectern, so they have to check that their zip is done up before they come and speak. So the first person who's going to welcome you is a representative from Comita ASMME, Nika Constantino. Nika.
Good morning. Dear patients, delegates, institutions, honorable institutions, I offer you the greetings of our President, Ms. Anna Maria Marzenta, who with great joy, I offer to you all the greetings of our President, Ms. Anna Maria Marzenta, who with great joy has entrusted the person affected by PKU the role of opening this year's conference. Something that in the very beginning of our journey would have been unthinkable. I'm here today in a double role as a patient and as an SPKU delegate. It is with great pleasure that on behalf of Comita ASME, I warmly welcome you to the 32nd ESPKU conference. It is the second time that this takes place in Italy, after the first one took place 14 years ago. Comita has chosen to be an active part of the ESPKU community, carrying out an effort that has led it to organize and facilitate the ESPKU 2018 beyond expectations. The association started its activities in 1992, actively supporting the Center for Inherited Metabolic Diseases of the University Hospital of Padua. After 26 years of striving to improve the quality of life of patients, many circumstances have changed. Today, the future of the PKU depends on a struggle that, by now, must not disregard a European and ultimately a global dimension. In 2018, people move across the globe more easily. News and ideas circulate, so societies no longer represent a national entity, but rather they are shaped in a single international society, in which shared interests move collective actions. Multilateral practices will always be the way for grassroots organizations like ours. And it's precisely this situation that suggests the measure of ESPKU's urgency for patients in Europe and beyond. In addition to representing Comita before you, I'm one of those PKU patients that who like to travel and work abroad. And it's not acceptable for a patient to be forced to feed in a risky way simply because of being on the move. It is not acceptable that in some countries of Europe, newborn screening for metabolic diseases is carried out in totally deficient and inaccurate manners. And above all, it is not acceptable that a child with an undiagnosed PKU is born in the world every hour. Dear institutions, we wish that you realize that progress in the treatment of phenylketonuria is not a cost but an opportunity. It is in each country's interests to promote the potential of its citizens who will be able to give back to their countries in professional terms. It is unacceptable that children are forced to grow up with challenges that not all of them are able to handle. It is unacceptable that the mental potential of young persons and adults is at risk due to structural gaps in the health system or due to hardly manageable therapy. The present treatment for PKU is risky for the patient's health, which the institution are called to protect. Dear professionals, we wish you that the meeting will lead you to mutual stimulation and new collaboration, not to vainglory. Our destiny is in your minds. Dear patients, we wish you that this meeting will allow you to meet many persons like you, with whom you will share each other's experience, your very personal way of being with PKU, and that this motivates you to mature as a patient and as persons. We hope that you will be motivated by knowing what is new in PKU, and that one day you may hear about the cure. After a year since last year's PKU conference in Norway, we are here together to draw conclusions from the years that have separated us, and to propose new steps on an occasion for stimulus and confrontation, which I wish and deeply trust that will be profitable and fruitful. With this, I welcome you to Italy and Venice, and I wish you all the best in your work.
Thank you, Nico. Okay, the next speaker I first met in 2012 in Brussels, when I had more hair. That's why she didn't recognise me straight away. Dr. Domenica Taruscio, Director of the National Centre for Rare Diseases of the Superior Institute of Sanita. Domenica.
Good morning to everybody. It's a pleasure for me to be here, and I would like to thank the organizers and in particular the patients. I received this invitation from essentially from all patients, but in particular I would like really to thank Graziano Bacco, and you will understand why. So in a few minutes, I got 5 minutes, not more, so it's a pleasure for me to give you some information about the situation in Italy. Of course, they are brilliant speakers and professionals, of course, they will go deeper, but since we are in Italy, it's my pleasure to say that we in Italy we are working a lot in the direction of PKU, and also on, in general, for metabolic rare diseases, newborn screening. So I represent a director of research at the Istituto Superiore di Sanità, which is the Italian Public Health Institute. What is that? The Italian Public Health Institute is like in small dimension NIH, so it has the main has a mission to promote and also to protect the national international population through actions, through research, essentially, in order to ensure that all citizens will have the best life. So we perform research, surveillance, regulation, control, prevention, communication, counseling, training. And I show you here, just to let you know, to give you a general idea, we are 2,000 scientists, and we are divided in departments and the National Center. And I'm the director of the National Center for Rare Diseases. So, what we do many things, from rare diseases since many years, from primary prevention, for example, of congenital anomalies. Not all of them can be prevented, but many of them, yes. And secondary prevention, essentially we are really deeply involved in newborn screening, essentially because I will tell you, since 2016 we have a national law which gives us a big opportunity for our babies. So we run in the center, we deal with registry, surveillance. In fact, we are ready to start a registry, a national national registry, national database to collect all data on newborn screening, rare metabolic newborn screening. So we work also on quality of life, we give information to patients, empower them, and so on. So I will go very briefly because time is short, and I will go very fast. Italy is as a country, and I represent, of course, as Italian Public Health Institute, the branch, the technical and research branch of the Ministry of Health. So since 2001 we have a national network on rare diseases, and along the way, because we are part now of the European Reference Network, include, of course, MetaBern, that you know very well. MetaBern is coordinated by Maurizio Scarpa, and you know this, of course, activity very well from close. Since 1992 in Italy, we have a mandatory, you see, mandatory, it's a law, a mandatory newborn screening for 3 phenylketonuria, congenital hypothyroidism, and cystic fibrosis, but, and this was the past, let's say, so we are happy, but we have also a new law, which is 2 years old, 2016, that it gives the opportunity, it's not the opportunity, it's mandatory. All our babies, newborn babies, will be screened mandatory for 40 rare metabolic diseases. Again, including PKU. Why? Because we changed the methodology. So it will be included in all this network. So the law now is in place since 2016. Inside, the laws identify also, in order to ensure, you know, Italy, it's a huge, I mean, we have 60 million inhabitants, so it's a long, from north to south, there are many differences. So in order to ensure the uniformity of screening, care, cure to all patients, so the law established a national center of coordination at the Istituto Superiore di Sanità, which is coordinated by the General Director of our institute. I would like just to highlight here, it's very important for me to say that inside the center there are professionals like Professor Burlina, of course, and others, but also 3 patients. 3 patients in this committee at the national level, which is Graziano Bacco, Manuela Baccarotto, and Alessandro Segato. So, okay, great. So this is we are proud, you know, to tell you that we are on the same table, at this national level, at the Istituto Superiore di Sanità by law, to the coordinating center for newborn screening. There are professionals, the Ministry of Health, Italian Public Health Institute, but also patients, and this is really great. So this center has many activities to perform, but essentially, and we should just understand the general aims, is to ensure the uniformity, equity of access and treatment to all patients in our territory. So there are several actions, and we will present these activities in November. You see, in few days, November 26, at the Istituto Superiore di Sanità, we open, we give the results. We worked a lot, 1 year, with all the members of this committee and the regions, because the activity should be performed, of course, inside the territories. So we release all the results to the professionals, to the citizens, to the associations, in order to show which is the situation in Italy. I can tell you that it's a very hard work, but very exciting, because we are really a team working together at national, regional, local level, in order, as I said, to ensure equity and the best life for our babies. So thank you very much for your attention. Sorry.
Okay, the next person needs no introduction, Professor Van Sponsor from the Netherlands, Frank Jan.
chair of the Scientific Advisory Committee of the ESPQ and allied disorders, so disorders treated in the way PQ is. And I have the honor to be also the lead of the working group who has published already 2 papers on the first European PQ guidelines. Those arrived last year and they were very important for both getting the same treatment in every corner of Europe. It's not there, but we can come with guidelines, and that way we will achieve some way the same treatment in all of Europe. But it also stimulates discussion on many issues of our treatment and care. So I'm proud. I'm proud because of it, that we achieved something. Thank you. And because of the publications, and because we already started yesterday with the 2nd round of the European guidelines on PQ. And why am I so proud of that? You have the obligation, when you achieve guidelines, to publish every 5 years a new edition of it, to see whether something has changed. And that's not that easy, for when you have finished guidelines, you will say, good luck, I'm ready. But now you have to go on. That's another reason why I'm proud. Thank you. We are, and you are, going to perform the first ESPQ study ever. And below you have some pamphlets, or below you or beside you, and we go to that in some minutes. Eric already said I'm from the Netherlands. I'm a pediatrician, taking care of metabolic patients, including PQ, and we do also studies in PQ patients and PQ mice. And in some time, we saw that our PQ mice had sleeping problems. Why the hell do they have sleeping problems? Let's see whether our patients also have sleeping problems. Wow, they have problems with sleep. If you compare PQ patients and healthy individuals, their relatives, their friends, PQ patients have more problems with sleep and are more tired, so to speak. But that's only in Dutch people. Dutch PQ patients, well, Dutch people can be a little bit weird, so I'm one of them. So it might be that it's just a Dutch problem. But now you come around the corner. For we would like to have you, as a PQ patient in Europe, to see whether you also have these kind of problems. And that's where we have invented a survey to fill out by PQ patients and the relatives to see whether there's a difference between our sleep, PQ patients and the relatives. But we have a problem. We really have a problem. We have changed our time. And when you want to see sleep and your daytime activities, don't do such study in a period you change your time zone. So we have to do it at the end of the year. And that's why we have some system for it. You have your pamphlet here, in Italian and English. You can find it on your chair. And Amanda and Els get up. Two of my students, and I promised to walk every day in their orange shirt to be recognized. So when you have questions, and take that black one out, come on. You can ask questions, and they will try to see whether you can fill out the question, not now, but register yourself at the link at the pamphlet, and you will get automatically an email to remember when you can fill it out. So next year, we will get back to you. They will get back to you. Stand up. So, and be sure that you can recognize them, not only from the orange shirt, but also from their face. Get to them when you have problems, register yourself, and see that we can fill out these questionnaires and see whether indeed the Dutch guys are weird or it's a PQ problem. For then we have one, an answer to it, and maybe that gives thoughts about treatment. And the second thing is we really achieved our first ESPQ study with each other. And that would be a really very good thing to do, and that would show that we are a PQ community from Europe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frankie. I noticed the Dutch national colours. I promised I wouldn't mention the World Cup because I'm in Italy as well, so there we go. I hope you enjoyed your trip to Russia. Okay. My task is quite mundane, but it's essential. On behalf of the ESPKU board, can I welcome everybody here, in particular our sponsors, our gold sponsors, BioMarin and Dr. Shah, our silver sponsors, APR, Nutricia and VitaFlow, and all our other sponsors. Without our sponsors, many things wouldn't be achieved, not only in terms of new products, etc., but they're constantly trying to innovate and give you better tasting amino acids, but I love them, but you know that. So thank you to them. Big welcome to all the professionals that are here. I understand that it's quite an intensive program that you have beginning after coffee. Big welcome to all the Italians that are here, particularly the patients and parents, because obviously this is for you to learn and to interact with each other at a conference. It's very important that even if you take one thing away that helps you with your diet, you've achieved. So meet friends, and obviously interact with the speakers, etc. So welcome to you all. It is our 32nd conference, and Nico has mentioned it's the second time we've been here. And in my preface to, or my forward to the programme, I also put it was our second time in Italy. It's actually our third time in Italy. So thanks to the person who pointed that out to me, but there you go. Really, just the mundane stuff. You know, I've got a financial background, so we have 523 delegates registered here. Approximately, I say approximately, I think it's 141 people with PKU or a registered disorder from 38 countries, so it is certainly in my time the biggest PKU conference in terms of numbers, so well done to all of you for coming for that. So the organisational remarks are pretty straightforward. Please the speakers, turn your phones on silent, stick to the timetable. As I say, the programme is self-explanatory. Those of you who are new to an ESPKU conference, after coffee we split into three. The patients programme will continue in this room. The professional programme is in Spazio 1 and 2 behind the awning in the back there. The country delegates who are all here, we are up in rooms B and C. And then we're there for the rest of today. The AGM for the country delegates I'd like to remind you to be there on your invite at 8:45 for a 9 o'clock start. Tomorrow we all meet in here at 8:45 again and continue to 1 o'clock. Hopefully we will finish at 1 o'clock. At about 2:15 to 2:30 coaches will take you to Venice at the front of the hotel. So you can have about 4 hours in Venice. We leave at 6:30 from Venice to come back here. The exhibition area is out here to the right where coffee is, and it's a huge exhibition area, so you can take all of us, no problem. Some fantastic stands there that have been built. Some have taken a little longer than others, they're quite intricate. So do go and speak to the sponsors, sample all the goods and services, etc. One thing about that though, there is a lip or a small step. I did trip over it yesterday, so I will forewarn you. Be careful when you go in there. So in Norway, when I finished my conference speech in Norway, I think verbatim I can say, you need to get off your backsides and do something. Because PKU is in the shadows. But a lot of people have done a lot of work over the last year, and PKU is becoming a little bit more known. It's coming out of the shadows, but not enough. I know a lot of countries have done a lot of work. You know who you are, and I'm sure it'll be reflected when we discuss our opening bits and pieces in our delegates programme. So we ourselves have been busy this year. We have participated and represented Europe in all 80,000 PKU patients, the Global Association meeting in America, the NPKU, the National PKU Association of America meeting. We went to the Spanish conference, we were invited to speak there. And we were invited by Rare Disease Russia to speak at one of their conferences in St. Petersburg. We supported DRG Germany in the production of the Horsepickle film with a little interaction between the UK because of Horsepickle working in the UK and then going back to Germany and working over that fantastic film. Recommend you see it. We've also formed an alliance with ISNS, the International Society for Neonatal Screening, because as you know, the most important thing for us is newborn screening, and Dominica touched on it this morning, not just for PKU, hyperphenylaninemia and things like that, hypothyroid, can't say, but any, all the other 40 rare diseases that are covered in Italy. There are countries in Europe that only screen for 9, 10, 12, 15 rare diseases, and it's honestly not just for PKU, but it's important that all rare disease organisations get together to make sure all rare diseases that are recommended by the scientific community are screened at birth. And we did attend a roundtable, a PKU roundtable at the EU Parliament on the 11th of July. Unfortunately, it wasn't the 28th of June, which is we tried to get it there. It was sponsored by 2 Irish MEPs, and hopefully they'll both stand at the next EU elections and continue their support for the ESPKU as we move forward into 2018, 19 and beyond. Okay, so when I spoke to Comita and Anna Maria at the beginning, I said, who should we have to open the conference? Very difficult decision. But I contacted a chap, I'll give you his full name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio. He's known as Francisco. He's a bit busy, he couldn't make it here today. It's a bit of a way from the Vatican to be here, but he said he wishes you all the very best for the conference. So, okay. So at that point, I think I'll finish and let you carry on. I'll hand over to Professor Maria Jasewska to continue the conference. Have a good conference. You'll hear from me again in my closing speech. Okay, thank you.